Who would have believed it?
Quiet, please.
Halfway through the second set with Sabatini in control. A
quiet, please.
First set in hand, a breaker serve in hand, and the opportunity to go up a second breaker serve, and Evert has come all the way back to level this at 1 set apiece. First game,
Quiet,
third set.
please.
Sabatini has produced 2 excellent forehand passing shots to open this third set. Chris played a backhand volley from a jam position, and then Gabriela nails it cross court with the topspin.
I think it's a mistake for Evert to come in too quickly, because Sabatini is an outstanding passing shot artist. If you come in, you've got to be very careful and do it behind only the best approach. Sabatini lives on Key Biscayne, or spends a lot of time here. She's from Argentina, also spends a lot of time in Buenos Aires. She has a lot of friends around here. Miami, a very cosmopolitan city. So many South Americans live here, so she has a lot of support. But as you can hear, the crowd really want Evert to win this match.
I think they wanted her to win the second set. I think the third set will be decided fan-wise. It's really amazing that after a set and a half, these two players, it seems as though at the same moment they both said to themselves, wonder what it feels like to play like my opponent. Gabriela started making all kinds of errors, and Chris's game totally tightened up.
Terrific point from Sabatini, and she has break point in the first game of the third set.
And Chris made 2 phenomenal gets in this point, but Gabriela persistently keeping her on the run. The slice back in desperation from Evert. Then Sabatini with an angle cross-court back-in winner.
that great comeback in the second set that Evert won. Sabatini has a break in the first game of the third. To Evert, let's take a look at the second set statistics, Steve.
I have to quarrel with the unforced error category. I think Mary does too. 8 for Evert, 7 to Sabatini. Very highly questionable statistic
That's all
there.
wrong. That's
but
all
look
wrong.
at the difference in the first serve percentage, almost 30%. That certainly helped Chris to get that many cracks at second serves.
The biggest statistic, of course, is the number of breaks of serve. Sabatini got 2. I should say Evert broke twice. And that's how she won the second set. But she trails 1 game to love in the third. Yvonne Lendl is the winner of the Lipton International for this year under the most tragic and appalling circumstances. Last night, Thomas Muster was involved in a car accident, had a knee operation. This morning, exploratory surgery. He will be on his way back to Austria tomorrow for more complicated knee surgery, and they say that he will be out for 9 months to a year.
Excellent low backhand volley from Evert off the Gabriela's slice backhand, which I thought might force an error. Both players playing at a pretty high level at this stage of the match, early in the third set.
In place of the final tomorrow, as a result, Yvonne Lendl will play Jakob Hlasek in a charity exhibition match here for the fans.
Hlasek knows what it means to come back from a tough car accident. He did it last spring and ended the year 1988 ranked 8 in the world. We all hope Muster can do the same.
They will play the best 2 out of 3 set exhibition match, and they will start at 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, and you can see that Lendl Hlasek match here on ESPN. Also tomorrow to be able to show you some of the Thomas Muster-Yannick Noah semi-final match that was played last night, and boy, what a semi-final that was. Muster, from 2 sets to love down, came back and beat the 5-set artist Yannick Noah, #1 player from France, in 5 sets. 40-15.
Outright winner into the wind from Evert. On the cross-court forehand, she just hit that one as hard as she possibly could. Took a chance.
Sabatini, 2 games to love in the third set, 1 set all.
I think it's going to be tough for Evert. And Sabatini, when she won the first game of this final set, she threw up a clenched fist. She just held her own there. And I think she's gotten that second set away from her now. I think Chris will have a rough time.
This is an important game right here. If Chris can hold on, anything could happen in this set.
You see that Sabatini fist again. She threw it out She looks like she's seeing the ball early again, moving well. She's back on her game.
Love 15. She's in trouble in this game, but you've got to admire Chris. She understands her limitations, and there are not many of them, but she understands them so well and plays within them all the time. And those who play against her, well, they know that she's just going to give it everything she's got.
Well done by Sabatini. There was a lot of work involved in this last point, and it wasn't really decided until this final stretch volley winner. She plays a very effortful style, Sabatini, too much so, really. But all of that energy and effort she's putting into this match is paying off in this third set. She's hanging very, very tough.
Break point.
You can hear Sabatini gasp after every shot.
Oh.
That one's too tough.
Signature Chris Evert drop shot off the forehand side, and I defy you to pick it.
And you know that Sabatini hears how hard Sabatini is working.
From behind the baseline, excuse me, Mary, she drop shot it actually a step behind the baseline, still controlled it.
Extraordinary. Still break point for Sabatini for his second break, third set. Gabriela Sabatini, who had a letdown there in the latter stages of the second set, has come back. She has 2 serve breaks and leads 3-love in the third. In on 120 degrees at courtside, as you can see, that thermometer is very close to the court surface, so it is a reflection to some extent of the actual heat of the surface itself. Naturally, it is not that hot 6 feet above the court surface, but it does give you an indication as to how hot it is down there. This is South Florida, Key Biscayne, near Miami. Live coverage of the women's singles final of the Lipton International Players Championship. 3-love Sabatini in the third set.
Evert has spoken about playing in this final last year against Steffi Graf, where the temperature on the court was about 130 degrees, about 10 degrees hotter. She said, we ran each other ragged for an hour and a half. Her ears were popping, she said, and she was losing her breath. She lost that match 4-4, but she said when she saw Steffi Graf in the locker room cramping at the end, she knew that it had taken something out of Graf as well.
It is still breezy down there. This match has been going on for an hour and 45 minutes. Double fault.
Sabatini having trouble there, Cliff, because she's serving into the wind. She wanted to be sure to get some depth on the second serve, but it continues to pick up and trail off and then pick up again.
Three break points for Evert. You know, I say it again, I thought that third game was terribly important, because if Evert had been able to hold serves there and she breaks here, we'd be back on serve in the match. I don't think she's out of it yet. Interesting how the wind affected, first of all, Evert's game, and now it seems to be hurting Sabatini more.
Sabatini taking the ball on the rise on the forehand side there as he drilled it down the line. That shot has improved so remarkably over the past year.
Still 2 break points.
That last flat backhand down the line hit directly on the baseline. Sabatini knew it.
At this time in the afternoon, the 3:30 on the East Coast, the sun has moved around to where it's not really a factor in Chris's ball toss now. But as Steve Flink at courtside has been telling you, the wind is a factor. And the sun was when we started here at 1:30 Eastern Time. The country squires Home's 200 NASCAR race that you were due to see at 3:30. Well, you're just going to have to wait a little while longer while we finish this match from Darlington, South Carolina, that race. And Bob Jenkins, it will come your way as soon as the tennis is over. You got it. 30-all. You are watching the final of the women's singles, a Lipton Players Championship from Key Biscayne, Florida. I'm Cliff Drysdale, along with Mary Carrillo. Steve Flink is at courtside. Chris Evert lost the first set 6-1. She won the second 6-4 against Gabriela Sabatini of Argentina. It is 3-1 for Sabatini in the third set, and 30-all.
breaking up the rhythm of the rally there by finally going down the line. We're having a cross-court backhand exchange here. Both players playing safely within the court on the cross-court backhand. Now Chris lines up the down the line, and Sabatini can't get it. Too accurate.
Game point for Evert. Or 3-2 in the third set. For Sabatini in the third set of the final of the women's singles. And Mary, things have really turned around again in this match. There have been, well, it's been a roller coaster, hasn't it? Now, certainly, you cannot count Evert out.
Oh, no way. That last game was just a triumph for Chris Evert. And I really think that Sabatini fell back a little bit. She started hitting balls short, and Chris was all over them.
Especially that last rally, though, Mary, because Sabatini was running Chris corner to corner, and finally that last backhand had such depth that it hit right on the baseline and forced the error.
43% on first serves for Gabriela Sabatini. It's pretty dismal, but remember that the wind is a factor.
Getting more very short balls from Sabatini. She's got to regain that length.
Becomes a battle of youthful exuberance of Sabatini against the cool experience of Chris Evert. 15 love. As you said, Mary, the shots of Sabatini are a little shorter now than they were in the early stages of the match for two reasons. She's lost a little confidence, and secondly, she hits with so much topspin. Evert...
if that keeps up, Cliff, you have to trust that Evert will win those long baseline exchanges.
I think that's true at this point. All.
Sabatini showing some shot selection maturity there by slicing the passing shot low, knowing that Chris would have to lift that volley as she came in off the backhand side. She didn't have the touch to control it. Smart play from Sabatini rather than going for her customary topspin.
She's a little like Noah, isn't she? She has so much variety of shot that sometimes I'm not sure that she knows which one is going to come next. That's why she's so delightful to watch.
I still think she has to play a bolder game, the way she played the first couple of games of this final set. Nice serve there.
Very good first serve, and then Chris lifted that forehand, and it got up in the wind. The wind carried it long.
40-15. 2 hours have elapsed since the first ball in this match was struck. You got it.
Can you believe she just tried that? On a high kicking second serve, she found an angle that I'm not even sure that exists. For a dead winner.
Still game point.
Sabatini had forced Evert away from the net with that chip cross-court off the backhand again, but Chris worked her way back in. That drop shot works again. Sabatini is doing a tremendous amount of work and court coverage. Watch her.
And she's too shy, isn't she, Steve? She played this point, I really feel too shy. She should have blasted that thing cross-court for a winner. Instead, she played it back, gave Chris another look at it, and paid the price.
The ball was so low, though, Mary, by the time she reached it. She just wasn't quite quick enough.
Back to deuce.
The knock on Sabatini has always been that she poops out in the long matches, that her game takes too much out of her. She says that's not as true as it used to be. Evert obviously doesn't believe her.
Gabriela had chances earlier in the point to come in. She held off and waited for the ball that she was absolutely certain of.
The NASCAR race from Darlington, South Carolina will follow immediately after the tennis. Sabatini taking her time after that long point. In fact, Chris, as you can see, is also slightly bent over. I don't believe that Sabatini is tired. I think she may be tight at this stage, but this is game point. For 4-2 in the third set. Sabatini 4-2 in the third set. She holds on to the breaker serve that she got in the first and third game of the set, led it 3 games to love and served, and Chris broke her back. Got back to 3-2. It's now 4-2. This championship started out with 128 women in the field. It is a 2-week affair. It is a Grand Slam format championship. So they have been out here for This is the 13th day for the women's singles. Players from 38 countries started out in this Lipton International Players Championships. It seems, Steve, that she's broken a string. Can you see?
Yes, Cliff. In fact, she has. She's going to a new frame right now, unwrapping it, obviously.
£78 is the tension Sabatini uses on that Prince. She had tried another Prince racket last week, a smaller frame, and went back to this one 2 weeks ago, I should say. Lost in the Virginia Simpson Boca, and just says that right now she feels more comfortable with her old one.
Shot.
That's a thoughtfully constructed point from Gabriela Sabatini as she pulled Chris Evert out wide on her forehand side, got the short ball she wanted, and then executed that backhand drop shot so delicately.
The NASCAR race from Darlington, South Carolina will follow this final of the women's singles at the Lipton. $100,000 to the winner of this match. $60,000, of course, has been won by both of these players, and they're fighting for the difference.
Sabatini knew Chris was going to drop shot the instant it left her racket. She was all over it. Had no trouble coming in to put that smash away.
3 break points for Sabatini to give her a 5-2 lead behind 2 serve breaks here in set number 3. One of these next 3 points should do it for her, surely. Gabriela Sabatini of Argentina is ahead 5-2 behind 2 serve breaks. When we come back, she'll serve for the match and the title here. Of the Lipton International, the ultimate stages of this match. Sabatini of Argentina is ahead 5-2 in the final set, and she will serve.
Keep in mind that the 3 previous times that Chris Evert and Gabriela Sabatini went the full distance of 3 sets, they were all won by Evert. This could be a breakthrough for Gabriela Sabatini, outlasting Evert in a long 3-set match.
Okay. This is triple match point for Sabatini. Today's coverage of the Lipton International Players Championships has been brought to you by Lipton Cup of Soup. It's America's favorite. By Lipton Recipe Soup Mixes, we give you days and days of delicious ideas. By Volvo, a car you can believe in. And by Almaden Wines, every glass is sheer pleasure, pure enjoyment. In 3 sets, Gabriela Sabatini of Argentina has won this championship over Chris Evert. She had 1 set and had a breaker serve in the 2nd set. It looked like it was going to be all Sabatini, and then Chris Evert came back, won the 2nd set. Sabatini came out 3 games to love behind 2 serve breaks. She led in the 3rd. Then Evert made her move, but it wasn't enough, and Sabatini won the 3rd set 6 games to 2. Gabriela Sabatini is at courtside, as you can see. Mary Carrillo is getting set to talk to her at Stadium Court, so let's go down to her. Mary?
Congratulations, Gabriela. It was a dream final, a dream match. What finally decided it for you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm more than happy. I think I wanted to win this tournament very bad, and it was a very tough match against Grace. She played really well, and well, I'm really happy.
We saw how emotional you were after you won that. Is this about as good a feeling as you can get winning a title?
Yeah, I think that's this is the best feelings you can have, and I think I did work very, very hard to win this tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion, Gabriela Sabatini. Back to you, Cliff.
Thanks a lot, Mary. The winner is Sabatini of Argentina in 3 sets. She's $100,000 richer. Remember, goodbye to you, everyone, from Mary Carrillo and Steve Flink. I'm Cliff Dreiser. Goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time here from the Lipton.